It's an unorthodox way to travel, but I find it to be quite suitable on Mackinac Island. Skating suits me just fine. It's the way to go, as I get a pretty good sense of a certain mood enveloping this summer. Have you felt it?
I think that's a great question.
That's gotten a lot worse.
Definitely online.
In the air, there's concern.
Does it bother you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Conflict.
But it's turned into a huge political battle.
And it can get personal.
It's toxic.
We're going to talk it out over a Faygo.
Faygo. Divisive nature that our country is in. Have you noticed that? And if so, does it bother you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, very much so. Because I have clients on both sides. I have friends on both sides and family. We should be able to do business together. We should be able to be in each other's personal lives without the political divide getting in the way, and that's gotten a lot worse.
Well, I just wish the two sides could get along.
Or three sides or four sides,
Yeah,
however many
and
there
both
are.
sides are equally guilty.
Do you think that has gotten to the point where we have forgotten how to agree to disagree?
You know, it's hard to believe that something like that is a skill set. But, you know, I think you do have to agree to disagree because there's so many issues that divide the country. But at the end of the day, we're all Americans. We should all be working together.
You know, 5 years ago on Facebook was known as the platform where people were nicer because they had to have their names attached to what they were writing. Yeah. That has flipped in the last 5 years.
What do you think that is?
I have no idea. You would think that some of the issues that we talked about here at Mackinac would be uniting issues, like, for instance, like the regional transit thing. You would think everybody would want to kind of team up and make that work, but it's turned into a huge political battle. And who knows? And the people who pay for that are going to be the residents in Metro Detroit. You know, just because of all of these politics.
I think national security is something all of us, you know, think is important, and it is important. But at the end of the day, I mean, the Statue of Liberty is out there for a reason, and our country's always taken, you know, the innocent and the poor, and it gave people, you know, the American dream is why people came to our country. So for us to just put up the closed for business sign, I don't think is good for our country. But at the end of the day, I think people do have to learn to live together, work together.
There's two ways of looking at this, and I can't figure out which it is. Number one, we say in business all the time that the tone is set at the top, and we put the politicians on this pedestal, and they act awfully to one another. Does that trickle down to us? Or have we seen ourselves in these politicians, and has that brought us out from the grassroots? You know, the politicians acting that way because day to day in our own neighborhoods are reacting that way. I can't figure out what it is, but either way, it's toxic for our community.
You know, I believe in civility in government, and I don't see a lot of that right now. There's a lot of divisiveness.
If they're a representation of us, how do we change?
I don't know. I think it's going to take each of us individually to set that tone in our own lives, if in fact we believe it. But there are a lot of people who think it's okay to be pointing your finger in somebody else's face and to get that finger pointed back at you.
Tip O'Neill, back to Tip
Sure.
and the Congress guy from Texas. They used to get along.
Yeah.
They did whiskey every night.
Nowadays we have Faygo. We drink Faygo here in Michigan.
Cheers. Cheers.
Even with differences, funny how Faygo finds friendship a more suitable and favorable outcome than finding foes.
And, you know, I mean, whether you're a Red Pop fan or you're a Rock and Rye fan, you can get along. Yeah. So Faygo could be the equalizer here.
Faygo, finding friends in a suit and a skateboard.
I like Red Pop, personally, all things being equal.
Not everybody agrees with you, Matt.
That's okay, they're entitled to their own opinion, and I respect them.